A child is sitting beneath a slab of stone. Rain taps against the rock above him. Water runs down the entrance of a cave in thin silver lines. Beyond that curtain of rain, the world has disappeared. He waits. 20,000 years ago, this was not an inconvenience. It was survival. Most people imagine ancient humans as creatures constantly battling predators, hunting mammoths, and wandering endlessly through open landscapes. But rain may have shaped their lives more than any predator ever did, because rain changes everything. It erases tracks. It extinguishes fire. It lowers body temperature. It floods shelters. It destroys food. And for most of human history, there was nowhere else to go. A modern storm is something we experience through windows. For ancient humans, a storm was an event that temporarily reorganized reality itself. And that changes the question entirely. The question is not, what did ancient humans do when it rained? The question is, how did our species learn to exist under a sky that could suddenly become hostile? The evidence suggests that our ancestors became students of weather long before they became masters of agriculture or architecture. They watched clouds. They learned the smell of approaching rain. They read the movement of birds and the direction of wind. Some anthropologists believe that this sensitivity to subtle environmental signals became one of humanity's greatest evolutionary advantages. Because unlike other animals, humans were beginning to imagine the future. A dark cloud on the horizon was no longer just a cloud. It was a prediction, a warning, a possibility. And perhaps for the first time in Earth's history, a species was learning to prepare for something that had not happened yet. When rain finally arrived, ancient humans did not all respond the same way. Some retreated into caves. Others built temporary shelters from branches, animal skins, and grasses. Archaeological discoveries from prehistoric campsites suggest that certain groups deliberately chose locations near overhanging cliffs and rock formations that offered protection from seasonal storms. They were already engineering their environment in the simplest possible way. But there was another problem: fire. Most people think the discovery of fire changed everything. That's true. But keeping fire alive may have been even more important. A storm could erase days of effort. Some researchers believe ancient humans carried smoldering embers from place to place, protecting them like precious possessions. Imagine that. A group of people huddled beneath rock, guarding a tiny glowing coal while rain falls for hours outside. Not because it is comforting, because without it, the night becomes colder, food becomes harder to prepare, predators become bolder, and survival becomes uncertain. In a strange way, one small ember may have been as valuable as gold, perhaps more. Rain also changed human movement. Mud made travel difficult. Flooded rivers became barriers. Hunting often stopped. For a brief period, people who spent much of their lives moving suddenly became still. And something interesting may have happened during those moments of forced stillness. They talked. No one knows what those conversations sounded like. But many anthropologists suspect that long periods of sheltering together helped strengthen social bonds and communication. Rain may have created some of humanity's earliest quiet hours. Hours for stories, for teaching, for memory, for imagination. A storm outside, a fire inside. Faces illuminated by flickering orange light. Children listening, adults speaking, knowledge passing from one mind into another. The rain may have been helping to build culture itself. Because civilization is not only made of tools and buildings, it is made of shared moments. And storms create shared moments. But rain carried another lesson, one that was far more unsettling. Ancient humans could prepare. They could predict. They could build shelters and protect their fires. Yet they could never control the sky. A sudden storm could still kill. Lightning could still strike. Floods could still sweep away everything. For hundreds of thousands of years, humans lived with a constant reminder that the world was not designed for their comfort. And perhaps that realization changed the human mind. Many of the earliest spiritual traditions treated storms as powerful forces with intention and personality. Not because ancient people were irrational, but because rain possessed something deeply mysterious. It arrived from nowhere, changed everything, and then vanished. Even today, storms still produce a strange feeling in us. The instinct to pause, to watch the sky, to become quiet. Maybe that feeling is ancient, a memory carried by nervous systems shaped over thousands of generations. Because somewhere inside every modern human is a creature that once sat beneath stone, listening to rain, waiting, watching, protecting a small fire, and realizing something that remains true today. No matter how advanced we become, no matter how many cities we build or forecasts we create, We are still living beneath the same sky, and every drop of rain is a reminder that before we learn to control the world, we first had to learn something much harder: how to endure it.